Hello again. This is a short talk about some of the descriptions of the upcoming program for the equinox. This image that you see behind me is designed to be a sequence. It proceeds from this area and moves through a series of specific types of feelings as it goes through a process of time. In the work that we're going to do, we're going to go through a sequence like this 1 month at a time in one location. So for 12 months, we'll pass through the specific feelings associated with that design in nature. That design would be a time of the day, a season of the year, and it will also be related to a origin in the family, grandmother, grandfather, gland, organ, body system, and it will be filled with different forms of information for you to test. The goal is this sequence is designed to be accurate, useful, effective, to give you something to do in perfect harmony with the flow of development, feeling, consciousness, nature, time. So for me, this is along the timeline of cycles and seasons. It's running horizontally to give you a feeling of it, but eventually it also becomes vertical because it's associated with a form of progress that we make. So briefly, the origin is on this side where the dark part is. You would consider that to be silence, which is the existence of the pristine universe prior to the creation of the soul. So this point here is a veil where there are 2 drops of water coming out of the veil. These drops would be a soul that is now created and awaiting incarnation. So this is to help us relate to the feeling of the pristine soul, flawless, like a drop of water, waiting to enter into time. And the first increment of time is sunset. And the first element of that is the lake. Now, in this one, it's also mirrored with the mountain that corresponds to the will. And then it travels on to the experience that goes from the lake that continues to feed the plant kingdom family tree. This is a reflection of the family tree. Father's side, above the water, mother's side, within the water. One more hidden, the other one more visible. So this flow then goes into number 4 and moves into the development of 5 and 6. Now, you can go in this sequence. My suggestion is to go from sunset to midnight if you use this sequence. You can use both if you want to give an idea that we're going to go through the entire family tree and all of the seasons of the year while staying in the feeling of the peace of the pristine soul. So the goal is to pass through all of this with the experience of the embodiment of peace. Now, this is a process. I've not spent a year doing this myself, but I want to. So I'm inviting other people who are willing to experiment with this to come along on this journey. So it's a journey alone, meaning you pretty much have to do it yourself. I'll be around to remind you of each part of this and to break down each part into deeper experiences for you to examine. But it's really something that you need to do yourself. The very first part of the journey, back at this original place, is the opportunity or personal responsibility to feel your own soul. No one can do this part for you. So I'm giving you as best as possible the images and the sequences as I understand them to work. Let me show you another one. This is the beginning. This is the same image, but in a smaller part. So if you open up the very beginning of this, you have three primary feelings that occur between sunset and midnight every day. This experience is the experience of the soul's entry into matter while containing peace and coming into the lake or the evening. That evening and the peace that it's associated with in nature also enters into the second 2 hours of the evening, which is sometimes a sleep, where we go to sleep. It's also the for-girl place. This is the place of metamorphosis or change. This is the place where we actually prepare ourselves to grow. This is also, in some cases, the dark night of the soul before the awakening. So this is a sequence of the 6 hours of what we pass through from sunset to midnight. Later on, yes, the 6-girl starlight function of the awakening of the divine leads into the inspiration that begins at midnight with number 1 sun. But this is the most significant part of the journey. I think occasionally it's good to honor, acknowledge the pristine existence of silence, but the immersion of the water-like existence of the individual soul that you have enters into and waits for emergence into conception into the liquid space of peace, and the journey begins. This journey prepares us to enter the light. So this is a picture of basically the entire phase of mankind, from the silence through incarnation, the dark night of the soul, transformation function, the emergence into the light. This is mirrored, this entire function is mirrored in all 3 of the 4 different phases, 6 p.m. to midnight, midnight to 6, 6 to midday, midday to sunset. There are cycles of these. So each cycle has within it a process of completion, but it's part also of a sequence. Start here. Soul, hold the pristine soul. I suggest you practice holding it at the bottom of your heart. You can try other locations, throat, head, belly, anywhere you like, and just feel. In the process of doing this, you're going to go through this dark night experience. What does that look like? That means the law of attraction is going to be bringing you the unresolved feelings that you need to feel to go into the light. Now, what this means is, as you're focused on the sincere desire to feel your own soul, you're going to feel an onslaught of personal emotional experiences. They can be quite subtle but strong, such as doubt, confusion, tiredness, hopelessness, weariness, feeling alone, every feeling that comes, process it. How do you process it? Remember the protocol, welcome the feeling, take the feeling in with the realization that you want to feel the feeling, not to avoid it, but to ultimately find the truth about what's driving it. So this part is significant. So having a clear intention of wanting to know your pristine soul as you move through it. Now you can do this at night because you can have a desire to know the truth about your pristine soul as you go to sleep at night, and that's where it will take you. It will take you in your sleep state to the place of your sincere desire, so that in the sleep state you can gain more inspiration, divine love if you ask for it. You can experience more light, more motivation, whatever you want, so that you can begin to bring that back to yourself at midnight and then fully more manifest it by 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. So start here. Just give this an experiment. Just feel what this feels like. Peace. Be willing to face whatever comes. Welcome it. Feel it. Have faith in the process. Go beyond. Just keep moving. So this is an overview of where I am now. This is literally what I'm doing my best to do hour after hour. And I'm planning on doing this through this month, the month number 5, and then starting it more formally with whoever wants to go on this journey for 12 months. The reality is, after 12 months, the plan is to have contacted all the 12 different specific locations in the family tree that correspond to the chakra system as well, the glands and organs, and to have contacted, felt, and appreciated all 12 of them, then apply all 12 of them in a year. Meaning that once we go through all 12, we'll go through it using all 12 in every location. That's what the plan is. If it makes sense to you and it feels like it is something worth experimenting, you can come and go. You can learn what you want from this. You can drop out, come back in, continue the process, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to need to do this no matter who we are, where we are, our culture, our race, our continent, our economic class. We're going to need to go through the feeling of personal responsibility for soul, transformation of that soul, move into the light. So I'm seeking to participate in harmony with that over time. So that's a basic overview. If you have questions that you want to post, either publicly or privately, if you want a response from me, then I'll give it to you, and usually in a video, because it's easier for me to do that than to write several pages. I'll respond to anybody's questions who has one. Thank you for being patient. I'll see you on the journey. Have a good day.